Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin and Cardano. In this video, we're going to take a look at both charts, and overall, there was a bit of a correction today for Bitcoin. Nothing significant, only a little bit down. I mean, we are still we're still in a correction, as you know. So this up and down is absolutely expected in a wave 4, as I said numerous times. No reason to panic. And nothing has changed really, but based on that, however, we can see that various cryptos are continuing actually their move down, and some of the gains from the last few days are already gone again. Phantom, for example, below $2 again. So yeah, I mean, pretty much a mixed picture here after Bitcoin's small drop that we saw here. And this is the chart, the Bitcoin chart. We can see on the 1 hour chart here how pretty much in the last hour the Bitcoin price did drop a little bit. So far for me, absolutely no reason to panic. No reason to panic anyway, because on this channel we've been talking about a move below 30k for months now, and yeah, we are expecting another sell-off. So what can I say here with this? I mean, we had here this ascending, broadening wedge, I think, we could interpret into this, and this was generally a bearish pattern, but of course you never know if it really breaks to the downside. In this case it did. I did show you in the previous video here and in previous videos, this strong descending trend line, and I talked about that I do expect here some resistance, especially as not only you're approaching here this descending trend line. I mean, we haven't really touched it yet, but we're getting very close. But we can see that the price, first of all, you had here something like a head and shoulders actually, yeah, and then the price is really struggling to get above the 39k, yeah, or 38.8 is really what the price is struggling with, and the last attempt here just couldn't get the price through. And as you can see, as I said earlier today, I think we were coming here really into very, very close into an apex. The price couldn't really move anymore, and its decision needed to be made. So I said I do expect here quite a bit of a move at some point in the next 24 hours, and there is the move, but you can't of course predict which way the move goes. Overall, what we have at the moment, depending on what's happening now, because it could turn around and move up again, what we then have is just another higher low overall. Compare it to the previous lows. Yeah, a low here, a higher low, another higher low, and possibly another higher low. And that might allow us then to move here this trend line again. As I said before, these patterns, they can sometimes shift and move. And yeah, as you can see, we probably have here another trend line that is forming. So, and then based on that, we are currently actually finding support at this trend line. And again, we've got an even more significant ascending, broadening wedge. But again, it depends on how you want to look at it. You could also still see it here as an ascending triangle. Yeah, so we just need to be patient. Nothing significant happened. Yeah, only a bit of move up and down. And again, this is just another confirmation that I think the wave count is accurate. We are in a wave 4, and this is characterized by lots of ups and downs, unpredictable movements in a wave 4, and just boring price moves. Yeah, that is just what there is. And at the moment, I do have to stay with my primary view that we are going to see the 43.3k. That's the 0.382 fib level of the wave 4. Nothing has changed. I still expect to get deeper into the target area, but basically I have to, because the 43.3k level, that 0.382 fib level, is the most likely retracement level of a wave 4. So yeah, just have to expect it. But as I said before, the correction, the wave 4, could already be complete, because the price is reacting very strongly here to the 0.214 fib level at 38.8k. Yeah, from here then, either from this fib level or the next one up there at 43.3, I do expect the next sell-off. Yeah, that could then be the final one that could take us down below 28.7k. We are in this move, yeah, to the upside. We are still able to get all the way up to 46.3. Only if we move above that, then I can really talk about different scenarios. Until then, I stay with this scenario. Even if we break 46.3, I did say it before, I would still probably, depending on what the price action is doing and how the indicators are looking, but from what I can see now, I think we would just still be in a correction. This would then be another wave count probably. I would need to come up with something different, and there are possibilities, like I showed you the ABCDE triangle, or alternatively, that's what we talked about before actually on this channel, and a lot of you will remember, who've been watching my videos for a while actually, we have talked about this scenario before when we dropped initially. I think when we dropped initially to this, what I have labeled now as a wave 3, we actually talked about that this could have been a wave A. Then I actually did expect a wave B, what many cryptos have done, right? Many cryptos have done a wave B. Bitcoin hasn't done that yet. So this wave B and then a wave C to the downside. Now what actually is, if this here wasn't, so it was never a wave A and this was never a wave B because it didn't go up far enough. But what is if this here, down here at 33K, if that was the wave A and now you're coming up in a wave B, that could go higher. That could even go up to 65K before we get to a wave C. But I'm not going to talk about that yet because we are still, in my view, in this wave, and this looks very much here like a wave 4 for me. So I'm staying currently with my primary view. But I often get the questions, what is if this happens and what is if that happens? Well, everything is always possible. We need to understand that. That's why I try to really always be prepared for any scenario in the crypto market. And I hope that comes across, with dollar cost averaging in at very attractive levels and then selling at higher levels and always having a foot in the door, at least at attractive levels, don't buying at all-time highs and things like that, and having a longer term perspective. I think that is very useful and helps also to keep the emotions out of the way to a certain degree. And you can't really think about every single scenario. It's just not possible because there are probably infinite possibilities, but we can only talk about probabilities here. And so far, I think it's been working out very well. Of course, not every call works. It can't, because then I would have a crystal ball and nobody has, and nobody can look into the future. But with probabilities, I think we can here come up with a very, very informed decision about the next steps and what the price could be doing next. And so far, I think it's been working out very good for a lot of the cryptos. I think most calls are correct and most things actually materialize, but again, nobody can always be right. Just please remember that. And it's also the case with my buy and sell orders that I post on Discord, for example, for channel members. Even if I do have buy orders set sometimes very low, and that's intentional. I don't expect them necessarily all to be reached, but in the case there is a significant and fast drop, I want to have my foot in the door. So but it's all described on Discord for channel members. So always try to be prepared for as many scenarios as possible. I think that is a good strategy, at least in my point of view. And of course, never financial advice. Here, Cardano, unfortunately, not much to say about Cardano, to be honest. It's probably what we have to do here is just extend this triangle pattern again. And again, we can see that we are still moving into an apex here, but the triangle pattern has to be extended a little bit based on what Cardano is doing. It's just moving sideways when there should really have been a breakout. But I think because Bitcoin didn't really do anything crazy, didn't do anything significant, didn't break above this 38.8k level, Cardano also thought, right, we're not just going to do it. We're not going to do anything yet. We're waiting here for what Bitcoin is actually doing. And on the ADABTC chart, I showed it to you earlier today, not really any significant change as well. I think ADABTC is still in a slight uptrend, and here we can take a look at that while it's loading. I think it's still in a slight uptrend, which is really good. But again, here we are waiting for a breakout. Now we can see, all right, okay, so what we had here, we've got this ascending trend line, okay. We obviously moved all the way up there. If I zoom out a little bit more, we can see actually that the downtrend has shifted into a slight uptrend. But what we can see today, that this ascending trend line was broken. I talked about that earlier today. Because we did reclaim it, or ADA did reclaim it, but lost it again. So it's now retesting it from below. Not a good sign for Cardano. Yeah, just objectively speaking, not a good sign for Cardano if that ascending trend line is now tested and flipped as resistance. From support to resistance, not a good sign. And that could mean actually that we might see another trend change here to the downside, but it's too early to talk about that. But that is definitely not a good sign for ADABTC, unless ADA can reclaim that now. But it's looking like that ADA is here losing out a bit against Bitcoin. But yeah, also here on the ADAUSD, you can just see the sideways movement. We have on the daily chart for ADA, Again, still here continuous movement in the bearish range of the RSI, sideways movement, nothing significant, no breakout at all. The only thing that we can see here, which might be a bit of a buy signal that's coming up, is here a potential bullish cross on the MACD. But again, here it's looking like it was going to cross, and then we saw these lines moving away from each other slightly again. But potentially in the next few days, you might see a bit of a green MACD here, which, as it did before here once, twice, last 2-3 times, it did lead to a bit of a price move up. Those were, you can call them fake outs. They were only small moves up, small recoveries within a downtrend, yeah. But it could mean a bit of upside in the next few days here, and could maybe even lead to a breakout here to the upside of that triangle. Yeah, that's my view here on Bitcoin and Cardano at the moment. Further sideways movement for Bitcoin and Cardano, further wave 4 movement here for Bitcoin especially, and no change really in the forecast. So nothing to panic about, nothing to worry about. We're prepared for all scenarios. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.